Okay, so for this brief lesson, we're going to be looking at creating relationships. To do that, I'm going to quickly create two other tables. So we've already got our films table, and now we're going to quickly create a customer table with details about customers and a transactions table to record the transactions that they have. I'm going to quickly zoom through that.
While you watch.
Okay, so what you would have noticed is on this new table, the transactions table, we have again a primary key, and the primary key is transactions. So each table has its own primary key, but you would have noticed that we have a customer ID and a films ID, and these two field names are primary keys in another table. So for example, if we open the films table and if we go to design view, you can see that the film ID is a primary key in this table, and if we go to a customers table, you can see that the customer ID is a primary key in this table. So what we want to do is we want to connect the two tables or the three tables together using the transactions table, and this is what we call a one-to-many relationship. So to do that, I need to close the other two tables. So let's close films and let's close customers. You can only work with one table at a time, especially if you're going to create relationships. And what we want to do is we then want to click on the drop down here where it says number, and I want to use lookup wizard. Using the lookup wizard, I'm going to say that I'm looking for a table. I'm looking for the customers table, so let's click on that, and from the customers table in my lookup field, let's take some of these details. You could just take all of them. Let's take all of them, and let's have the customers in ascending order of first name. And we'll hide the key column. The key column is basically just the ID number. You can see it's blank at the moment because I don't have anyone in my customers table. This will change in a moment. Click on next, enable data integrity, and we'll click on finish. So now we save it. That should be that done. And now what we'll do is we'll do the same for the films table. So we'll connect the films table with the films ID here. Do the same again. We want to look up the field. This time we're looking for the films. So we'll click on the films table, and once again I'll just put all the data across. Click on next. I want it in this order, in order of name of film. Oh, and in this one we do have a couple of films. So again, just hiding the key column just hides the film ID, which I don't really need right now for this anyway. Again, enable data integrity. Click on finish. Save a table. Now what's happened is, like I said, every table has a primary key, But in the transaction table, what's happened is the customer ID and the films ID, because we've connected them through a relationship, this is what we call a foreign key. So in this table, the foreign keys are the customer ID and the films ID. So basically means that they are primary keys in another table, but they're foreign keys in this table. So if I close that for a second, and if I just open database tools and click on relationships, I'll just drag this across a bit, and you can see the one-to-many relationship that I was talking about. So for example, what that means is, in this table, one item from this table, so for example the film, could be related to many of the records in this table, in other words transactions, and the same here. So one customer from this table could be connected to many customers, or sorry, many transactions in this table. Okay, so if we close that, yep, we'll save that layout, and let's open transactions. So now, in fact, do we have any films? We have films. Let's have a customer. Let's make a customer up. Let's say John Smith. Oh, my bad. John Smith. Date of birth. Let's make him up. Let's make up 19th October will do, but let's take him to 1980. Oops. There we are. 1985. Address 123 Sesame Street. Postcode DA1 7HB. Phone number, we want 11 digits. Let's do a 447. There we are. And let's create a silly email as well. jsmith at sesamestreet.com. Okay, and a ledger of 0. Okay, let's do one more just for the sake of having two customers to choose from. So let's say we've got John Smith. Let's also have Jane Smith. Stop doing that. Jane Smith, date of birth 12th July. She's younger. Let's do her at 1995. Okay, and she lives on 64 Zoo Lane. SE9 9. There we are. Another random number. Janie at gmail.com. Alright, cool. And let's say Jane is in credit of £3. Not that it matters. Okay. So we've done that, and we have, hopefully, let's save that table. Let's close it for a second, and let's open the films table up again. Okay, so we kind of have half another film. We'll worry about it later. Okay, so let's go to transactions. Let's say, for example, I want to add a transaction. Now, because we have relationships in place, whenever I click on customer ID, I should see a drop-down list of all the customers. And if you remember, I put the customers in alphabetical order. So Jane clearly comes before John. So let's say, right, Jane wanted to rent this film, and the films are in a drop-down as well, because there's a relationship between the transactions and the films. So all the films are listed. Not many at the moment. Okay, the rented date, she rented it at this date, and she had to bring it back 2 days later. There we are. And the cost of the rental was £3, and she paid £3 at the desk. There we are. Let's say Jane again rented another film. This time she rented Guardians of the Galaxy. She rented it on, let's say she came back on the 20th. It's due back today. Again, she paid £3, and she, there we go. Okay, let's add one for John Smith. He rented Avatar. He rented it last month on the 5th, and it had to come back on the 7th. It cost £3, and he paid £3 at the desk. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's close it. So just so you can see how it looks, let's close that. And if we go to our films table, okay, now as you can see, before these weren't here, but now we have these plus icons since we've created our relationships. So if we click on the plus icon here, it tells us which customers have loaned out, which customers have rented out this particular film. And again with the next one, exactly the same. It tells me who's rented it out. Let's close that for a second. Now let's go to the customers table, and again we've got the pluses here because we created our relationships. If we look at John and we click on the menu, it tells us what films John has rented out. So I can look at individual records like this. It tells me James rented out 2 films. Okay, and now that's the basics of creating relationships.